Let me open this up. Joining us here on the news track this evening is Amitabh Tiwari, political analyst and founder of Vote Vibes. We also have Kumar, political analyst. Good evening to both of you. Thank you very much for joining us. What's very clear, looking at what's been happening the last 24 hours, if it's anything to go by, this is going to be a very, very high-stakes election in Bihar, which is why there's so much thought, politics that's playing out right now. Mr. Amitabh Tiwari, I'd like to focus first on the NDA, where it seems what's got everyone riled up in the JDU is Chirag Paswan.
No, essentially, of course, if you see, because JDU's seat tally is declining from 115 to 101, that is 14 seats, while BJP's is declining by 9, 23, and the other smaller parties also by 6 seats. And JDU and LJP always have had a not a great relationship because LJP feels that JDU is responsible for the decline in their clout because Nitish Kumar created this separate Mahadalit category. And also in 2020, it was very clear that because of JDU contesting separately and targeting only or rather the LJP contesting separately and targeting only the JDU, it lost close to 33 seats. So all is not well within, or there is a trust deficit between JDU and LJP, and that is what we are seeing when we are not getting clarity regarding a press conference.
No,
Also,
that's...
the smaller allies like HUM and RLM, they also feel that since RLM represents 4% of population community, which is Kushwaha, and even HNM or other HUM represents almost 3% of population in terms of the Manji community, then why with Paswan community with 5% population is getting 5 times the seat of what HUM and RLM is getting. So that is also creating some sort of discontent within the allies. And I think we are likely to see some friendly fights in both the alliances, which is NDA and MGP, because things are very late now.
right.
Second round of nominations have already started. 17th is the last day, and we don't have clarity on seats for both the alliances.
It's surprising that we still don't have clarity, but I'd also like to bring in Mr. Kumar. Before we talk about the Mahagathbandhan, just about the NDA, Mr. Kumar, it's not a good look for the alliance. The fact that, there was this big bang announcement that at 4 p.m. today there will be a press conference where all of the questions about seat sharing will be answered, where the deal, the formula will all be put out in play in full public view. And then 1 hour before that press conference, it's called off, and clearly there are still differences to be settled. It's not a good look for the NDA right now. Do you also think, and that's one of the flashpoints we spoke of, that the communication within the Bihar leadership of these parties is wanting right now?
Yes, primarily between LJP, Chirag Paswan, and some of the JDU leaders, and that has been into the backdrop of 2020. But mind it, compared to 2020, BJP is now in or has the leverage, to commensurate the incommensurable position, because prime contention is not about the number of seats. Yes, all the allied, primarily Upendra Kushwaha and Jetana Maji, wanted more seats, but mind it, in 2024 Lok Sabha election, Chirag Paswan delivered 5 out of 5. So therefore, at least there is a rationality to the more number of seats if you take 6 assembly per Lok Sabha election. So that way it's rational. Where the crucial difference is about the which seat, which party is going to contest. Because mind it, Chirag Paswan is trying to reward the loyalists who stayed with him when the LJP was divided and major chunk shifted to his uncle Pashupati Paras. And that time JDU also is allegedly was accused of playing a role. So that
Yep.
way, rewarding the loyalists, be it about the party president or media in charge, etc. And that way there is a strong contention. And JDU leadership also has a history of some sort of bitterness vis-a-vis LJP, and therefore you find this sort of logjam. But my hunch is that BJP central leadership has the leverage to reconcile it, and therefore something that was supposed to be announced today perhaps can be done by tomorrow or maybe day after. Compared, if you see that to the rival Mahagathbandhan alliance, wherein Congress hyper assertiveness,
Yeah.
despite not having a ground presence, is creating some sort of incommensurable position, because be it about phase, be it about number of seats, be it about which seats, You see, in NDA camp, compared to 2020, things are still almost resolved, except some minor hiccups and hitches. So I think BJP central leadership has the leverage about deciding which should go. So maybe you will see some sort of bargaining and some rewards besides the number of constituencies.
You know, as far as the NDA goes, the sense one gets is that how many is taken care of, but who gets what, that's where there's a couple of sticking points that they're yet to iron out. But talking about the Mahagathbandhan, since Mr. Sajjan Kumar also spoke of that, Amitabh Tiwari, do you think, and it looks like one of the issues that's coming up right now is that the Congress is not willing to openly say that we endorse Tejashwi Yadav as the CM face of this alliance? Do you think there'll be a change of heart in that? What do you make of really what's played out in the courts today and how much that will impact what the Congress does?
No, essentially, of course, the Congress, which had the lowest strike rate in 2020, is not willing to budge to contest a lesser number of seats. I think 50 to 55 would have been an ideal number. Also
They're
considering
talking
the
of 60.
also considering the fact that if RJD contests on less number than 150 seats, it weakens the prospects of the alliance. See, what happens is that when smaller parties contest, like the VIP or Congress, etc., the vote transfer of the core vote block of RJD to these candidates or these parties does not happen in a similar way. So now you also have a VIP which is not trustworthy and is complicating matters
Yeah.
because of the addition of VIP and then LJP faction, then IPP, JMM, etc. These have reduced the pool which the Mahagathbandhan has. Correct. And that primarily hit is going to come from either the Congress and or the RJD. So if you look at the performance of the Congress, it has not won more than 35 seats in the last three elections, at least once. There are
Yeah.
just 35 seats which the Congress party has won in the last three elections. On the leadership issue, I think the Congress is bargaining for seats as well as a deputy chief minister post for
Right.
Rajesh Ram or any other candidate, because without naming him as the deputy CM, they will not be able to extract mileage from the Dalit community or the Ravidas community, which also accounts for almost 5% of the seats. And this corruption allegation also, perhaps Congress
Yeah.
foresees that the corruption allegations could weaken Mahagathbandhan's prospects, especially among the young, educated, and middle class voters, because you will need voters from NDA to switch to Mahagathbandhan, and these swing voters may not necessarily like the dynasty politics
Yeah.
of Lalu family as well as the corruption allegations which have been leveled against them.
No, interesting times ahead. Amitabh Tiwari and Sajjan Kumar, thank you for joining us with your perspective, your view on what's really happening. Hopefully, in the next 24 hours, we'll see some seat-sharing deal being finalized by the NDA or the Mahagathbandhan for that matter. You never really know because both sides right now are still continuing their negotiations, their talks, ironing out all differences. We're going to continue getting you all the updates coming in from Bihar.